doing? So much going on, right? Like around the world, across the world, in our very lives. I mean, if we can even stop for like a moment and fathom like how the human mind works and how like everything we take in regards of always, I can't even say always. You mean to talk about mental health, but at the same time, not really talking about it because we just regurgitate what we hear, we repeat it. We have no idea what we're talking about because if we did, we would state what's really going on, right? Because as we speak of it, your shit is in danger, and it is. It's being damaged. It's under attack. If you don't think so, then you're pretty silly because you think you have control over that, but it is because your moods. If you're chasing a dollar and you're like, oh, I have to work today, it's not working out. All that shit matters. It does. It doesn't matter what your therapist told you. How do you know she's even really in your favor? She made you feel like she was. And not even done therapists. No dig against them because I've had a few. I'm just treating them like human beings. So that means you're no different than somebody that I need to second guess. But we don't do that. Odd to me how we just put our trust even after history tells us. Only a fool would just be like, of course they would never do that. I was like, yo, this is crazy. That's how that shit happened then and it happened again. That's how history repeats because people don't do anything different. They don't learn for themselves. This is my thing. We go to school, right? And then you can look this up, the people that created Education USA, and you still don't even want to. But you go to school, right, to be educated. And somebody calls you smart along the way. You're like, thanks. But then when you have times where you need to use that smartness and put 1+1 and all that shit together, shut down. People say, you don't know what you're talking about. You're crazy. Or they're like, oh, you know, all this other shit. Or you tell people anything but what is. We just don't push for it. We say these things, but we don't push for it. Are you following me? Makes no sense, right? But there's somewhere somebody sitting there trying to make sense of it that still hasn't even sought out true education. It's silly, right? Indoctrination just got a hold of you. You won't even. You're like, I seen the movie The Matrix. Remember, they tell us everything, but yet you do the same thing. Like, that's just the dumbest shit I ever heard in my life. Like, don't quote stuff and you're not awoke to it. Like, you pay attention to what people say to you. Because they'll try to give you some garbage. And then you'd be like, but you say that, but yet you do nothing. That's, Einstein, he had said something sort of to this extent. And I'm not quoting it verbatim, but it's not really the evils and the bad in the world. It's the good people that do nothing. They stay indoctrinated. They're like, I don't want to know. I don't want to know. And that's some cowardice shit. Thank goodness for people like Malcolm X and other folks that had the courage to see that there was change needed and educated themselves. They didn't just believe what they were told through books and the system we call education, right? He questioned. When you're a questioning mind, there's nothing wrong with that. But have you noticed, like growing up, that we were always told, not don't do what I do what I say, or why are you questioning? Like even if you do anything outside of what you learned when you were younger in school, um, like if you notice a lot of times in classrooms, a lot of colleges and stuff, when a student actually use that intelligence that they've picked up along the way, because I use that loosely, they picked it up because a lot of times it wasn't taught. Whew. And then you go up against what they're teaching you, they get all bent out of shape because they're not teaching you. They are telling you. These are facts. See, the fact that people can't intake this is because they were in this. See, I was a fucking teacher for 9 years, maybe 10. So, yeah, I fucking know. And let me tell you right now, there's one thing when you're just going through the flow and you're just doing what you do, and there's another thing when you just don't want to know. And you keep perpetuating, and you think anything's going to be different. You never teach yourself anything. You just sit with what you think you know, and you never challenge it, you never question it. You don't even pick up a book or do anything to find out any extra information. You just say, this is what I know, this is what I know. But you know nothing because you even say it. You know nothing. So that should tell a human fucking being, excuse my language, their mindset, that if you have questions, then you should seek it out. For goodness sake, God said, seek it. I mean, we can go there too. But we're not going to clump this all in one. I want to, because people don't like the truth. They don't like reality. As much as they say they do, they're liars because they deny it as soon as you give it to them. But then they go and take in all this information from a source that has never given them any transparency or any reason to trust them. That's insanity. They've done nothing for you, and yet you still keep taking it, and taking it. You're like, what's wrong with everything? Everything that they want to be wrong with you. And whenever somebody says anything that makes sense, we can't fathom it. We can't take it in because your reality, you might have to actually do some work, some thinking, right? And you call that being smart. No, you call it being a slave because you are following the agenda. And if you think outside of it, that means you're going to have to do some extra work that they didn't teach you. Then you got to question some things. And some people are just okay sitting within the Stockholm Syndrome category. You're welcome. So, how's it going, everybody? Yeah. You remember what they said about Einstein? See how that turned out. Some people don't mind being sitting still, believing anything. See, this is a problem with that. There's some ignorance, a little in the head when you look at the results in history and you still are doing the same thing and you wonder why. But the world has helped you set it up to make other people look crazy. The ones that connect the dots, because they aren't that hard to connect. Yeah. But hey, certain boats for different folks. Some people stay on, some get on the other. That's the evolution of humanity. This shit has happened before. Some people don't even know that they're energy. They just think this is who I am, this is life, and it'll keep going on. After they went to school and they even taught them a little bit about that's not what happens. It just baffles me. But, yeah, we're energy. You can tell somebody that, they're like, but how do you... Sometimes you just got to check out. Just because just back up. You leave people alone sometimes. Be like, oh, this is real shit. You don't want to like drive yourself insane, but this is the thing. Responsibility. Like, we owe it to ourselves. I've seen people care more about their freaking car, about the gasoline that's being poured in, than their own mind. They know nothing. They've never looked it up, read it. Not one day in their life that they ever consider, let me learn my brain. That's interesting. But they can tell you everything about what's under their hood of their car. That's pathetic. It is. Because, you know why I say that? Because, yeah, just Google, DuckDuckGo, whatever you choose. I'll Google. But we have all this time to do all this other shit. All these shows, all these things, right? All these things that people talk about and they do. All of us, very me, but I do read. I've been doing that shit since I was a little girl. And then they have all these curiosities and they wonder what's real and what's not, but yet they've never looked it up, but they've looked up a piece of ass and some porn, like a heartbeat. That's why I give no shits and I don't give excuses or have any leniency when it comes to shit like this. I'm like, I'm not buying it. You knew. As soon as you thought of it or you wondered about it, like somebody told me one day at damn near almost 40-something years old. They had no clue what voting was and what it was about. No judging. No judgment there. The sad part was they still never looked it up. They just rolled with it. Just like, I don't even know, you know. Of course they didn't teach that shit in school. But guess what they did teach? Really gotta go there? Uh-huh. We ain't gotta go what they did teach. You just, guess what you should know? No? No? Okay. That's cool. Yeah, we still keep sending our kids to school and we don't even educate ourselves. That's how you know you do it out of repetition. You're not even knowing what your kids learn in school. Because if you did, no, you would be looking up what they're learning. But you're not, because you're just trusting that you're just doing the same shit. Get an education. You don't even know what the education is. That's ignorance. Yes, it is. I'm talking to you. Whoever I'm talking to, it's ignorance. We've all been there. I've been there. But we were born into it. Tell me I'm lying. I'll wait. You can't. That's the crazy part. You really can't, because that's facts. Like, we just woke up like, this is what I know, you know? Or we grew up as babies and we were taught. And so that's just the norm, because, and to question it would be silly, right? How's your life been going? Like, how's your health and how's your mental health and how's everything? It's going great? And if you think so, this is the norm, then you think this is where life is really supposed to be. And then for the people that say that they have a relationship with God and they love God, you basically, you're just repetitive. You're not even really thinking, because if that's the case, you're saying that this is what he set forth and this is the norm to suffer. But yet you say he's good, all in the same sentence. I am going to throw up. No. How come? This is the thing what people should do. All I do is just thought provoke. Can't tell you what to think. But some people don't even want to ask themselves. They're just so resistant because they're so scared, so fragile. That's why age sometimes has no relevance when it comes to certain stuff. It's the thing is, learn it, go seek it, go find it. Because it's there. It's there. It's your fault. It's your ignorance that stops you from knowing what you're questioning. Why not? Why do you do anything else in this world? And that's why I don't buy that shit. Because how come is that we get up, we go to work, we do this, we do that, then we question the shit that affects our lives, our health, shit like that, and then we'd be like, well shit, you didn't question getting your ass up and doing this and doing that, so therefore, I'm not buying it. No bueno, because I know this much. God gave us common sense, and you just got to tap in, and because we have been taken off the path. But it's up to you to get back on it. It's up to you. And are you really connected to your Creator? You will know. How's it going? It don't matter what I think. At all whatsoever. At all whatsoever. But we all have a purpose. And it's to do more than what we do on this planet. Like, here's this for appreciation. No. It's to deliver the message. To love one another, to care, but to deliver the message. And our purpose has nothing to really do with us. There's a lot of people that think so, but a lot of those people I've learned have no spiritual connection. They don't have like a relationship. They don't even believe, which is ludicrous to me, because I'm like, well, how did you get here, honey? You know what I mean? Like, explain that. And they don't even have that, so you know they're far-fetched. Like, they can't even come up with that. And if they try, it's regurgitated. They didn't seek out the knowledge. They make excuses why they shouldn't trust it, but you trust to put that food in your mouth every fucking day without reading the back of the box. That's education, right? Yeah, yet they don't teach you that in school. So we should probably question a lot of stuff, but we don't. We just keep repeating. That to me is, it blows my mind. That we just, it's okay to question stuff, because if you don't, the thing is that the things that we do question be stupid shit that you just don't do anyway. That. We were talking about relationships, and which is important, I guess, whatever. But yet, not the real stuff that acquires the relationship. Everybody's a fucking heart therapist or the dating relationship shit. And I'm just like, yo, you don't even know who you are. And you're telling people how to date and how to do a lot of shit. And yet, the creator, he would handle us a whole different way. Tolerates a lot of shit from us. But we can't tolerate one iota of anything from another person, especially with men and women. It's like this whole rift, especially the last, year and some change that I engage deeply with connecting to people on social media since I'm going to be on it and all and have a show and try to promote stuff. It makes sense that I would engage with people on here. That's no fucking brainer. And so I get to know people. I listen to stuff, and I listen. I don't even jump in. A lot of times I don't talk unless I'm asked, and sometimes I try not to. I hide, and I get asked, and so I'm like, okay, well, so I like to listen a lot. Because a lot of times people can't handle what you have to say. See, I evaluate. Because I don't take side. I can tell you on one side and both on the other. See, a lot of people are used to that right and left shit, that weenie shit, like, oh, I'm a lefty, I'm a righty, I'm conservative. You know what I mean? That bullshit, that gang shit, like that shit that doesn't make sense. Like you can't think outside of that. That traps you. But what if your beliefs don't even align up with any of those, or what if they change? What if they're not the same? So therefore, people take sides with stuff, and I'm like, that's some basic shit, real basic. Yeah. And when we use basic like that, that's not good. You're a basic ass person following other people. And you know you probably don't even believe in that shit, but you're like, so this is what they do, and this is who I am because my dad was one, and yeah, and they're not for the white or the black people, so this is what we do. And I'm just like, you're not even for yourself. Go sit down somewhere. Everything to make you not think for yourself. That's what it is. You're welcome. Anywho. Those are the things that people don't want to talk about. They don't want to hear. Because they want to, a lot of times, I was talking to this therapist, psychiatrist, psychologist, whatever you would call them. And then they had this writing, it was amazing at what the discovery was. And I was like, high five, because I damn sure can believe it. That why people believe things that when you give them all the answers, like, bam, here's your face, like proof. And they still be like, it's because a lot of people don't want to go outside of that box because they're weak, right? Yes. Accept it. Weak is weak. You can't be claiming it different if that's not what you're doing. And not even just that. It's because some people have a need to be liked. Human beings, from studies and paying attention, not just because I heard it, because I evaluate myself, because I exactly know what people do to get us to do what we do. You study the mind. That is not even, you shouldn't even need to be that intelligent to know that shit. But yeah, here we are. You study the mind, the brain, how the human brain works. How else will they know how to freaking market to us and do all this other shit? That shit right there was a no-brainer. No one had to tell a lot of people that stuff. Like I said, we didn't come in here with a blank slate, to be honest with you. That being said, what? So they cater to those things. Let me give you a little example of how things work around here. And this is only if you're willing to learn. If you didn't know this, don't sit there and be like, that's not true. Like, okay. So, scientists, whatever you want to call them, how do you think they cater to your taste buds? How do you think that works? Do you know that your taste buds have their own little category up in here, right? You know what the dopamine effect is and all that stuff, right? Your endorphins, all that shit. Well, you take a few flavors, right? Say, okay, so there's this one that experimented with salt, and I'm pretty sure we can all identify with this flavor because sometimes they come separate, but when they come together, what do we get? Let's talk about it. Caramel, not caramel, salt, sugar. What else? What else? Just say it's pepper. Doesn't matter. In your tongue, right? And then you're like, so good. You know what that is, right? You know that's your endorphins, your dopamine effect, right? You get that whole sensation, right? And then, boom. I love this. I need it. I must have it. But do you realize that it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out that you have to put shit together to get a fucking ingredient, first of all. So if you didn't pick that up along the way, then I am so sorry. So second of all, somebody strategically did that shit because you don't think that these flavors just come out of nowhere. You be like, how did they do that again? And put their foot in it again because they strategized to put that shit together. And this is the better part about it. Everything I'm saying, you can go find it yourself. That's the whole thing. That's the whole thing. And if you don't, and you don't believe it, then you don't want to believe it. You like being ignorant. You love it. That's what I'm saying. When people find out information, they'll take it from the most unreliable source, the most non-transparent, the least to trust. You'll believe anything it has to say, the entity or corporation, wherever they are. But then someone, or you'll go by their title, or, oh, I saw them on TV. The most basic ass excuse you can ever use. That means you don't know shit about that. That means you got your kids and yourself out here thinking because you're on TV that you're important. And then when it's somebody that just is trying to share information and it's not telling you to believe it, but go seek it yourself, you get all bent out of shape. And that's why I check out at. I'm not doing that anymore. And when I say I'm not doing that anymore, I mean, I say I'm not going to care anymore. It's just that you just can't put for people that are just, don't get discouraged just because you take care of your responsibilities to educate yourself and not just be indoctrinated with information and then just walk through life holding that information and never go deeper. But think that's what life is, right? Don't get discouraged that you're not one of those type of people, right? Just know that your path may just be different and he just might have something different for you. And we still, at the end of the day, because anything I've said here was never in disrespect or not out of love for anybody, because if it's not you, then you should be fine, right? Shouldn't be offended. Why are we always offended by stuff? Like, really? There's a lot of people, a lot of offense. Like, if you're not offended by other shit and you're offended by just these minimum things, then you need to sit your offensive ass down somewhere, because most of us should be offended by majority of the same stuff. Crimes against humanity. It shouldn't just affect some of us. You'll get somebody like, well, that's how it is. That's not an answer. That's not even educated. That's just somebody that didn't want to do shit, ain't going to do shit, and just don't know shit. It should affect all of us. If you're a human being, you say you love God, you have children, you have love in your heart, then that should affect all of us, plain and simple. People are going to keep making excuses why people don't do stuff, and that's why people don't do stuff, because you keep perpetuating and making excuses for cowardice people, plain and simple. People don't want to hear certain words because they don't want to identify with it, because it's them and it's no one else's fault that they choose not to do anything about anything. Don't knock the next person down for the work that they're doing, because your ass wouldn't be sitting where you were sitting if somebody didn't get their courageous ass up and say something and do something. So you should be saying thank you like you do on those special days, but turn around and don't want to do nothing and then question those things. That's how you know you're regurgitating stuff, and information, and you really don't intake it or understand it. Tell me I'm wrong. I'll wait. Matter of fact, inbox me. Just not sitting around making excuses for people's ignorance, because look where we're at in this world right now. Look where we're at. And we still have somebody sitting here, but that's how it is. Get the fuck out of here. Thank God. That is not the map book to how we get better and we get through this. Because if we did, nothing would be accomplished. We wouldn't be anywhere. What makes it like you fall for? If you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything, right? You question, you just believe anything. You won't question anything, and that's just who people will be. That's fine and dandy for whoever wants to be that way. But what I'm saying is, for the people that your calling, your purpose is more, keep going with it. Don't let the Debbie Downers, because I'm telling you, Satan works in mysterious ways. It might be somebody you fucking love. You don't want to hear it? Well, you just heard it, and it's facts. It's not like we've never seen this before. People are just too pansy ass to want to listen to anything. Nobody got time for that. People are losing their lives. This is some real shit going on. It's a war. It's a spiritual freaking war going on. And people want to sit here and be all soft and sensitive and act like a newbie preschooler. I'm not. I don't care what anybody says. Good luck with that. I see what's going on here. It's a fucking war. So nobody would. So when they go to war, do you think that they don't do any of the soft shit? So why would it be any different when it's a spiritual war? Citizens and human beings just sit back and let government, or if that's what you would call them, and military do all the work, and we just be like, we just sit here like dumbbells and just wait for us to tell whatever they need. That's some sad ass shit. And if history ain't taught you anything else, I pray that it will eventually, because I mean, there's no other way. It's like, like I said, I'm gonna take it back to what I said before. We get educated. Supposedly, people get smart. Supposedly, people got the wrong image of smart, because people are so smart. How come they don't know half of the shit they should know? It's real. How come they don't do their research? Come on, stop playing with me. Stop. I don't play games. I'm just so serious, because children are at stake. Like, there's lives at stake here. So nobody's really got time to coddle ignorance and make it look cute, because nobody wants to be empathetic about a lot of things but people's ignorance. Yeah, don't bring it over here. I'm not buying it. Not. Matter of fact, go here. Trash that shit. A mile away could smell the bullshit. So get right with yourself. Like, I don't even understand. But like I was saying before, keep doing what you're doing. If your purpose and you're trying to help people see the truth, or show them what the Creator has shown you to show them, because intent and sincerity will reveal itself. Everybody don't have great intentions. They'll come walking in the light, supposed light of, you know. That's why you can't go around believing everybody. You be like, oh my God, I saw Jesus. Well, oh my God, what's his name? Because it surely isn't that. Okay, it's Yeshua. Okay, like, let's get it right. Let's learn our real history. But nope, that's only some person that only will accept what's been taught and won't go any further. That's what that is. Because if they did, they would know that shit. And then you would know what the word said about false prophets. And I'm just using this as an example of how people just believe anything and don't go any further. You'll fall for anything. You'll just be like, oh, and you're a sucker. I can't be on no sucker's team. I don't have time for that. It's a liability. I gotta go. I gotta go now, because that's how badly I'm not playing. Like, if you are simply just fooled by the veil, is, I got a veil. We all got a veil. You don't want that veil removed too soon, right? That shit could be a little scary. Oh, what's a veil? Yep, basic. Until next time. We'll start simple next time. We'll take baby steps. Like 1 plus 1. I don't know, because you would think people would fathom the most to know that this world is beyond what our eyes can see. And if you're not that deep yet, then you don't know yourself, because we are more. You know your energy, how we feed into this system, that if without our energy it wouldn't even thrive the way it thrives. So if we knew that, then we would switch it up. You can talk it all day long and think you know something. You say, I read some books, but okay, oh, you read some books. You know what I'm saying? But yet, nothing's changed. So I'll see you guys later. Till next time, keep talking that shit that you keep saying people are listening to. And I'll keep seeking the truth, my purpose, and sending out all the love in the world that I can to people. Because at the end of the day, we're people, and some of us don't know, we won't know. But the thing is, you gotta have patience with people. Yeah, there's this patience. I didn't say I had to tolerate shit. I still don't. But patience, yeah. Because I get it. People won't know. But there's reasons why people don't want to know that I have no tolerance for. Like, if you won't even seek wisdom, you're just not wise because you're freaking on the planet and you've aged. Really? I have family members. I know better than that. I know people. And some people never learn. Trust me. But when you seek it, God say you'll find it. So seek it. If not, then keep being